rolling right into updates on older cases and introducing new ones. We're going to be introducing more new ones, I think, than old ones, only because CMS, the case management system, has been down for so long. But we got quite a few on here. So hitting North Dakota first, we kind of did a map here to show you where they all came in at. Well, Fargo and Williston. And why do we think a bunch of them came in Fargo? Because that's where everybody lives. So that's where people live. That's where the reports are going to come in. So they're kind of skewed in that way, but that's kind of how it works. So the first case right there, and I'll let you take it, Anna, and you let me know when I need to change slides.
Alrighty, so case number 136314 happened in West Fargo back in January, and we have Charles, the investigator, who is here with us in person. And so when you're looking at the image, it is a little bit difficult to see. You can see some triangles at the bottom. That's actually a peak of a house. And then above it, you can see some kind of shadowy lights that are actually reflecting off the clouds. So I'm looking at Charles. Sorry for those online if you're wondering what I'm doing. Wondering if he wants to talk about this case. So this was a pretty easy one. So folks that are here in Fargo have probably seen the searchlights from the Lights Event Center in West Fargo, and that's exactly what that case was determined to be. So it was an IFO. Yes, there was an event that evening. Another West Fargo case in June. Charles was also the investigator on that case. So as you can see, the narrative says, and the narrative is really just what the witness was reporting. As I was walking outside, 4 large orbs, lights, saucers appeared and started moving around just above me. Then 3 of the 4 broke off to the right and started swirling around each other in circular formations. So in this particular case, there was a lot of different aspects to it, and there was a lot of emotion that this witness had when they were going outside. And because of that, and because there wasn't really a way to determine solid objects, we decided that the case should be insufficient information. Really, what it was an ERT case that was reported as a sighting case. So sometimes that happens. With ERT, we don't necessarily investigate. We're there to provide a listening ear. There were aspects that could be considered an actual sighting report, but it wasn't something that we would have been able to investigate for quite a few reasons. So it does have a disposition of insufficient information.
We keep throwing around ERT. That's Experience or Resource Team. That's
Yes.
a team that MUFON has for those people who have actually had experiences. We try to talk them through it, help them out with it, give them some help if they need it, whatever they need. So it's got thrown around a couple of times today, but I just want you all to understand that's what that is.
Yes, thank you, Jer. And one thing I will point out with the ERT, in any kind of case that appears to be an ERT, we really protect the confidentiality of that witness. So you won't hear us talk a lot about it if we determine that it's probably more ERT than a sighting case. So that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of information left out on this particular one, just out of confidentiality for the witness. All right. Another West Fargo case. So this happened back in February. The narrative, which is only part of what they wrote in their report. I pulled up to a stoplight, and then a large black SUV pulled up next to me. I looked at the driver and did a double take. It was a male, masculine being that was quite large, and his head was much larger than any human's. Features like cheekbones and chin were very large and profound. He had black sunglasses on with a black suit coat. He had white skin, very smooth looking, different than human skin. He had white, blonde, stick straight hair that would have been about shoulder length, but was pulled back into a ponytail. Tried to stop him and get a better look, but to no avail. So the reason why this case had a disposition of information only is that it was really an entity case. So there wasn't a physical craft sighting. So with MUFON, generally speaking, we only investigate actual craft sightings. Oftentimes, we do have other things like an entity. But in this one, we just had an entity. We have no way to determine whether it was alien or ghost or any other kind of paranormal. So it is an information only disposition, unfortunately.
So that kind of throws us back to the ERT thing again. When you become a field investigator for MUFON, you're going to kind of be doing the lights in the skies. Well, actually, my first one was really cool. It was a guy actually saw the craft right there, close and personal. But I can tell you guys about that one later. You'll be doing those kind of cases. If it's an ERT case, the Experienced Resource Team case, you won't be able to do those. However, after a year or 2 or 3, depending upon how you feel of doing field investigator stuff, you can join the ERT team. And you can start doing these type of cases, which is really cool. Thumbs up to real good stuff. So just something to think about for those of you thinking to become field investigators. That's how it works. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And so I believe this is the last case in North Dakota. So case number 137998, located in Williston. So this is more of a historical case. And I am the investigator on this particular case, and Charles is my assistant on this one. So the narrative is that I was in the work truck. I noticed a yellow-orange light in my rearview mirror. I got out of the truck. That's when I noticed the light was coming. It was going very slow. As it flew by, it nearly hit the top blade of the wind turbine. It was egg-shaped, and it had the yellow-orange lights with multiple beams and a spoke pattern. The top of the, can't quite read, was 350 feet up, and the top of the blades.
Top of the nacelle.
I need to put my glasses on, my apology. And the top of the blade pointing straight up was 500 feet. It must have cleared it by 20 feet. As it flew by and left the tower area, it flew up into the clouds with the beam still shining towards the other technician and I. As it flew by, I heard no sound, nor did the crew up tower. No one else saw the object. So this is assigned, it's actually been assigned to primarily Charles. So I may have to go back in and switch that and have myself as the support investigator, but Charles is investigating this case, and when he has had it completed, we will update you at a future meeting.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. Getting into the Minnesota cases, there are several of them. One over by Moorhead, by Brainerd, out in the middle of nowhere by Hinckley, one down by Rochester, and over by Sioux Falls, and of course a bunch of them around the cities. So why around the cities? Because that's where everybody lives. So you're going to have more people seeing stuff. So this looked like an interesting one by Elk River, case 137258. 9:15 in the evening. Peter Collins is the one investigating this one. On the evening of June 12th, I was outside trying to capture a picture of a lightning bolt. Did not see the object in the pictures until the next day, and I never witnessed it with my bare eyes. But there is no denying what it is. My observation is exactly what yours is going to be upon looking at the picture. So you can see that right there, which looks like a cylindrical something. So Peter's working on that one, and we will find out hopefully soon what is going on with it. This one happened in June in Carver at almost 11 o'clock at night. Case 137229. Our chief investigator from Minnesota, Linda Folkerts, is investigating this one. Lights were observed in a vertical line, one above the other. However, for about 4 minutes, then one by one moved off at a moderate pace, not super fast, to the northwest until no longer visible. So that one again is also in progress because you got a lot of them that are in progress, and we'll find out next month, hopefully, or the month after, what is going on with that one. Okay, this one happened in Lakeville. I've witnessed over a dozen high altitude UFOs with erratic flight patterns appearing and disappearing over the last 4 months. It is assigned to Joel Henry. Happened in June 29th. Let's see if I can get it to play. And it is not going to play. Of course it's not going to play. I was afraid of that. There we go.
Look at this.
And all we see
Come here, look at my screen.
is that light right there. Now there's a star over here to give it some reference. What's that? Not us, okay. Zooms in, zooms out a couple of times. So you can see a couple stars, so you do get a little reference as to what's going on there, but no idea. Could be the
My
ISS,
screen. Look at
you
this.
know, could be anything. I don't know. It is moving, but
They're moving.
I don't know. It's kind of a longer video, but moves in and out. But that's all you see is that white dot.
It's not my hand moving.
So a tip, if you do video this type of stuff, zoom in, that's fine, but then zoom back out and have a reference. So we can see what the heck where it is, what it's
Yeah, but
doing.
look at it,
Because just the
see
light in the
right
sky
here.
is, I mean, you know, if you got a light in the middle of a frame, it's kind of worthless. But here he's got the trees, he's got everything else, so that
My hand's not
helps out a
moving.
lot.
See, when you zoom in, it's difficult.
Get you a tripod.
All right, that's it. And Joel, hopefully we'll get going on that one. Okay, this one happened in Minnetrista. Has anybody ever heard of that town? I have not. So hopefully I'm saying it correctly. 137570. Happened at the end of June at almost lunchtime. And again, Linda Folkerts is doing this one. Square object moving south slowly into the wind. We have seen something like this before, but we're not doing an investigation, so we can't really say what it is. But it is right there. It does get a little bit sharper as it focuses on that, but right now it's focused on the frame of the truck. Yeah, the truck. He finds it. Eventually, I promise. There it goes again, but again, it's gonna be fuzzy because yep. So anyhow, we have seen that before, but Linda's doing the investigation on that, so we'll let her do it before we jump to any conclusion. See what she comes up with. Okay, this is a really good one. This one happened July 20th near Hinckley. While on a camping trip in the St. Croix State Park along the Minnesota-Wisconsin border, I saw an object cross the sky at immense speed traveling north along the St. Croix River. So here he's got a map of the campsite right there where he was at. There's the object right there, moving towards the north. He's kind of got the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. The guy was an artist too, which is awesome. And then this is what it looked like when it was directly overhead. So he's out camping now. There's trees all over the place. Not that thick, but thick enough. He's able to see it pretty much when it gets right over top of the head. And I said, well, how big is it? You know, how big, when you would look at it at arm's length, how big was it? And he said about the size of a dinner plate. So the thing was pretty close. The thing was pretty huge. But he said he just moved kind of through the opening in the canopy towards the north and then just kept going. So he didn't see it for very long because he couldn't because of the trees, but he was able to at least draw all this. Now I did get the radar data from Duluth. I just got it recently, so I haven't really had an opportunity to take a look at it yet. We'll see if I can figure out how to read it and see if there's anything on there. So, but anyhow, in the meantime, I went ahead and signed this off as an unknown UAV because he got such a close look at it, and the guy seemed very credible to me. You know, he wasn't real excited about it. He's not looking for a frame. He doesn't want his name out there. Just, you know, here's what it is. So that's that was a really good one, actually. Okay, this one here, 137832, end of July, somewhere in Lincoln County. 2230. I think that's supposed to be 10:30 in the morning. That would have been, that's me screwing that one up. Sorry. Tom Maher, who is the Minnesota state director. I was riding in a car taking pictures of the Buffalo Ridge wind towers near the Minnesota-South Dakota border. In this particular photo, I saw a dark object shoot past extremely fast from southwest to northeast and happened to catch these in the photo. After the photo was taken, there was nothing flying around as far as I could see. I took several pictures in the same area with nothing showing up in any of the other photos. So the original photo here You can kind of see them right there and another one over here. And this is what it looks like blown up. Any ideas what y'all think that might be? Dirt on the lens, maybe. That could be another one. Could be. Personally, I think they're birds, but I don't know. Tom's working on that one, and he'll get a good look at it and see what they come up with. So that's just a guess. I'm not doing the investigation on this one, so we'll see what happens. This was another really good one. 137-883. It happened back in 1966 in Richfield at about 5:30 in the afternoon. Late summer of 1966, while walking home, above me, slightly over the graveyard, I saw a saucer-shaped silver craft with orange running lights moving clockwise underneath it on the outside edge. The witness actually walked. They were here, saw the craft up over here, looked around to see if anybody else was there to get someone else's attention to say, hey, look, what the heck am I seeing here? There was nobody around. Again, this is 66, so it's understandable. If you guys have been around, understand. Witness decided just to take a slow walk, just keep walking until they got to about this intersection here, and they couldn't take it anymore. They just bolted to their house, ran inside. This person was about 15, 16 at the time. Ran into the house, got their mom convinced to come out and take a look. The mom came out, saw it, looked at her and said, I don't know what it is, and I don't ever want to talk about it again. So, okay, that's fine. Another couple of nights later, she was with some friends and they saw a similar object again that couple of nights later. So very interesting case. It's a historical case. Again, the witness was very credible, very calm about the whole thing. All matter of fact, this is what I saw. I can't tell you anything else. So unknown UAV is how I put that one up as. Again, that was a really good case. Nice person to talk to. 137-886. I told you there were several of them. July 28th in Plymouth, around 5:30 in the afternoon. Peter Collins is working on this one too. At one point, when the raindrops began again, I stared up at the clouds and noticed on edge of the moving high altitude clouds a bright white speck. There's no pictures on this one, sorry. I focused on it to try and identify it. The clouds moved next to it, but it remained stationary. It reminded me of a very similar experience I had as a teenager, not far from there. Because of that, I continued to watch for any movement. However, it did not move, and the clouds moved in underneath it. I did not see it again afterwards. So that is assigned to Mr. Collins, and we'll see what he comes up with hopefully soon. Oh my gosh, another one. Okay, 137-887 on July 27th near Coon Rapids at about 4 in the morning. Stephen Hero, he'll be all over this one. A multicolored shaped object, unclear distance or size. But what wasn't shown in the video is it had a light that was moving around randomly while traveling in a straight path. I took a video, then my phone died. Me and my friend, who I'm not going to name, looked at each other, then looked back, and it is gone. So let's play this video, if you can see it. Right there. So if there's a light moving around it, I don't see it. But you already said that it's not in there. Does anybody have any idea what this might be? No one? Starlink, maybe? Guys in Fargo, what do you guys think?
Well, my guess is probably Starlink. So my first thing that I would do if I was Steve is check to see if that there was a recent launch. But I will let Steve handle that. He is very good with his investigations.
Yep, exactly. All right. All right, this one. 137-920. There's a lot of them that happened at the end of July near Garrison, which is right by Mille Lacs. So this is Mille Lacs Lake. Happened about 10 o'clock at night. Tom Maher is the investigator on this one. Bright round shaped orb appeared on Mille Lacs Lake. Orb was approximately 3/4 mile up and approximately 3/4 to a mile away on bright moonlit evening, easy to see. UFO caught on security camera mounted on the east side of the house looking over the lake. That's the moon, or that's the moon. That's not the object. So let's play it. Y'all see it? Okay. It's kind of a longer video, but you don't get anything. So play it again, maybe. Yep, there we go. Do any ideas what that might be? None? Fargo, got any ideas?
Well, I don't, in my audience here, there's no ideas, but I will mention that anything that's on security video really almost always isn't usable because of how it functions. And we can maybe go over that on a different day when we have a little bit more time, but I have some suspicions of what that is, but we'll keep those to myself.
Okay, we'll let Tom handle that one. Yep, I agree. We don't want to jump to conclusions. Okay, oh, this is a good one. This is the last one we got tonight. It is a case of interest. 138002 happened on July 31st, 2024, near Sabine, how do you say that?
David.
Sabin, near Sabin, Minnesota, about 1:30 in the afternoon. Anna and I have been assigned to it. I seen something speed across I did a bad job of, I put the narrative up there, so I left a lot of things out here and there, so I just tried to make it quick. So I seen something speed across the road that caught my corner of my eye. It was a silver chrome ball. It had stopped and moved 90 degrees to the right. From the time I saw the silver chrome ball and started recording is about 10 to 15 seconds. Observed the ball maneuver around the trees and houses as I was proceeding to catch up to it. Saw a gravel road heading to the east. I was doing my best to keep the recording going and hopefully catch it. From where I first saw it to where I ended up was almost a half a mile. I could see it traveling inches above the cornfield the whole time. Observed the ball. It was traveling 7 to 12 feet high, dodging trees, house, debris, and corn stalks until it proceeded to gain altitude until it disappeared under the clouds. Kept recording as long as it was visible. And let's play that one. This is a really good one. Okay. Point it out. Now he goes around the corner and they start going by the cornfield. You'll be able to see it right above the corn, but then he'll lose it and then he'll pick up a water tower in the distance. But then he'll come back and see it again. Went down?
There it is. There it is.
There. Okay, now he's kind of lost it. That's the water tower. Then he comes back.
Right here.
Right there. Right there.
Where we go? It's still going.
Can you all see it okay?
Well, it's pretty neat. Kind of keeps floating around, and of course you can see it kind of gaining altitude. It'll go in front of this tower here. So we'll be able to figure out where that tower is, where they are, and kind of get an idea of object size-ish. But then it keeps going over here, and it'll start gaining altitude slowly.
Going up.
And he'll focus back in. You'll be able to barely see it, and it'll kind of go up in the cloud, but
Camera got funny.
it's possible it's a balloon,
There it goes.
a Mylar balloon.
Right in the dark.
However, we're going to have the video analyzed, and we'll do whatever else we can to figure out what it is. I don't think it's a balloon, but it could be. It very well could be. So,
It's going really high.
yeah, I don't know. And the way that it traveled, I mean, it's really breezy. It traveled smooth and straight. So, I don't know. We shall see. Okay. And that That's what's going on in the Northland. All right, door prize drawing now. We're done. You got anything else over there in Fargo or online? Does anybody have anything?
No, but I just do want to mention a couple of things about that last case.
Yep.
So we have submitted the video to our photo analysis team within MUFON. And the reason for that is we want to get a little bit clearer image of what that is. Because if it is a balloon, we should be able to determine that it's a balloon. There were characteristics of that excuse me, that were not consistent with a balloon. And I did go out to the location. There was a number of really interesting things, including a significant difference in the electromagnetic field readings where the balloon, if we're going to call it a balloon, crossed over the road versus background. There was interesting patterns in a wheat field that was behind the soybean field that you can see in the video. Lots of interesting additions to that case. So we're taking a very close look at it.
Mom and Pop chocolate cola. Well, at least it's not ranch. Yeah, whatever. Why are you still here? Again, meeting's over. You can leave. You don't have to stay here. Just wow. Rest in peace, Mr. Lang.